Okay, good afternoon. Welcome again to Bannisters for the second part of this NPF News special. We're here with the 2009 NPF Champion, Team Dobbs. Hi Dave.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in all the way from the office next door.
Yeah, long travel.
Long travel. You need a rest before that?
No.
Right to go. Okay, as you all know, Mr. Team Dobb here won the tournament last Sunday, crowned himself the NPF 2009 champion. Firstly, let me just say, pleasure to watch.
Thank you.
And I really honestly believe that probably from about 40 players out, 99% of the railers and the people left wanted you to win. How does that make you feel?
It makes us feel great. I didn't really realise that because I was really focused with the game, but as I got closer to the end, it was obvious, you know, people wanted me to win, to be honest. But that's fantastic, and it's something I'm proud of, really. You know, it's fantastic.
I think the reason for that's come through with most of the people I've spoke to, and most of the posts that have been on the forum about that, is it's in respect and honour of probably what yourself and Scotty through the forum have done for the actual poker scene in Newcastle. And I think that's the reason why most people think it's a thoroughly deserved success, and that's why most people were railing it. Even the guy you were heads up with, Ben Aitey's mate Brenos, even said that he partly wanted you to win as well, and his best mates and percentage with Ben. So.
Yeah, well, that's really nice to hear. But I mean, at the end of the day, every player that entered that competition had one thing in mind, and that was to lift this baby here. So I had them other 98 people to get past. And although it's nice that a lot of people did want me to win, I'm sure I was the second choice to their own.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, fantastic experience.
Well, let's go back to the start of the tournament. You come in the casino a little bit earlier, obviously, because of all the bits and pieces that we need to do before. But when the music started and you sat down, and obviously you looked round at the field, what were your thoughts of the field that you'd attracted to one of your tournaments?
Well, I mean, the actual place was absolutely electric. It was buzzing. You know how we like to do things. You get them hyped up on the mic. We got the music makes such a big difference. And what I was glad we did do is took a bit video of it so we can recall it. And it's when we look back on it, you could just feel the atmosphere in the place. It was absolutely fantastic. And you know, I wanted to see what table I had, and when I sat at my table, I didn't like the fact that it was one of those old round ones. But I looked at the table, and as you can expect, every table's going to be tough, and mine was no, you know, it was as tough as anybody's. You know, you got Chipmunk Dobbs there, you got Scotty, you got Steve Brennan, who I didn't know a lot about, but I had been told was such a good player. Yeah. We had Rachel Costa was on the table. We had young Lozzie, who you know, I had a few heave-hoes with at Aspa's £75 game in the past before. So it was a really tough table, you know, but it's what you expect in a game like this. It was everybody's table was going to be tough.
Oh, of course, and looking throughout the other tables on there, as I think I mentioned on the intro on the day, we're talking 98, 99 quality poker players in Newcastle.
I could only probably think of maybe half a dozen lads who I would put up in the top groups who weren't there, and everybody else, you know, anybody that's won any competition in Newcastle was there. And it's what made it such a good game as well, is the fact that we attracted so many of the good players in Newcastle, and it shows you the strength of the forum. Basically, you know, everybody talks about the forum now. It's, you know, it's just grown at such a good pace, and that was proved again last weekend with what we put on and the response that we got. You know, it was fantastic.
Okay, well, we're going to ask you a couple of questions about the tournament specifically. We've had a couple of I've had a couple of requests from different people to ask you a couple of questions. I've got them down here. The first one is from your friend Peter, Juicy Oranges. What he would like to know is, throughout the tournament, if you can recall, how many mistakes did you think you made with your play during the tournament?
About 2 or 3, really, that's all. I mean, it was one of them games where things did go for me at the right time, and the first mistake I made was in a hand with Lozzie on the first table, where I had been going quite well, and I was above my starting stack and very comfortable on the table, and he had just lost a big pot with Jimmy Chipmunk, and I felt he was on a little bit of a tilt when and I'd raised my pocket tens from about mid position, and he shipped all in. It was about 3,000 to call him, and what made me call him was Jimmy Chipmunk he took ages. He was thinking of his decision, so he's obviously got a big hand. Knowing Jimmy, he's probably got big ace or something like that. And it's what I had put Lozzie on, and I'd put him on like, you know, your big ace range. So I decided to call, but he flips pocket jacks, and I lose nearly 4,000 of my chips. And you know, I like sort of like thinking, you know, it was like a bad call at that time. But at the end of the day, it was just one of them decisions I made. I just went with me read. Me read wasn't quite right. And then the only other decision I can think of that I made wrong was, yeah, obviously the ace-10 hand, which sort of
we'll
changed me tournament around. But the only decision I regretted was on the final table, and I think it was Sean McGuigan who had raised early position. I had pocket twos, and I think he had raised to 15k, and I had plenty chips to play with, and I didn't call, and somebody else had, Herbie Hackett had called in front of me, and I passed pocket twos. And the flop come king two, something else. But I mean, McGuigg's, he could have been sitting with pocket kings, I don't know, but you know, there you go.
Okay, I wouldn't class that really as a mistake.
No.
That's just a decision to pass. Okay, now obviously a lot of the forum members will remember back to June of this year. You're over in Las Vegas. You're playing in the seniors event.
Yep.
You've got a couple of stakers, if you like,
yep,
that have got something to you. Now. Quite a lot of hype on the forum that night, because I'm set up at home getting calls from Juicy Oranges from Mr. Foggo telling me how you're doing in text messages, and I'm putting that bit on there. Someone has asked me to ask you, how does the tournament on Saturday that you played and winning that compare to your deep finish and your big cash in the seniors?
Well, I mean, two massive differences with the competitions. I mean, talking like the World Series of Poker, nearly 3,000 runners, to actually cash in it was absolutely fantastic.
Just remind people where you finished in that.
I finished 97th from nearly 3,000, 2,870 or something. And you know the experience of going through the bubble there, it's fantastic, and first World Series cash. But to be honest, in the World Series seniors, I never really felt in trouble. I had a decent stack from after the break, and going into the second day I felt very, very confident, even though I lost a big hand, first hand of the second day. And I don't think it sounds being blasé or anything, but I really expected to get to the last two tables at one stage of the tournament. But then I went like two levels, with totally card dead, which that done the big damage to me. And but anyway, I was proud as punch with that, and I remember getting pissed as a fart with Juicy, and we had a great time. You know, you feel like you've achieved something, but then you come back to last weekend, and you know, for lots of other reasons, it was like I got a lot of satisfaction out of taking this competition down, because of, you know, it's like sort of our forum, and it's what our members want to win as far as I'm concerned. So for me to be able to take it down, I couldn't have really wrote the book, you know, any better. It was just crazy how things happen. But you know, maybe it's meant to be. But I'm super proud to be NPF 2009 champion, and you know, and it's like the respect that goes with it. You know, you sort of, I think that's how poker really works. You know, it's irrelevant sometimes. It's irrelevant to me, the pound, shillings, and pence. It's like it's the respect that goes with it, and that's what I'm chuffed to bits with, like, you know.
Okay, good answer. Good answer.